And we are being live streamed, and let's do this. Where do I do that? Allow. Okay, enable waiting room. Bam. Okay. All right. We are getting ready here, guys. All right. Okie dokie. I think we are live streaming. Will invalidate that. I think we're good. Keep forgetting to tell people click on that live tab on YouTube. All right. I think we're good, man. We are live streaming. We got a green light, and we are golden. So cool. The usual spiel, guys. So thank you for attending this week's Coherence Meditation. If you are new, please go ahead and click on that like, share, subscribe over in YouTube land and Facebook. Thank you, everyone, for attending. We much appreciate it. And this is our weekly Coherence Meditation for Tuesday, March 5th. Wow, it's been a little while. I thought it was like, what? We're coming spring here, so we're going to have a live spring. So we're going to rename live stream over to live spring. As soon as it becomes spring, I just notice it is a Tuesday that it lands on, first day of spring. So anyways, guys, yeah, we hold these coherence meditations every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Our main YouTube channel is over on Cosmic Gaia Community, which is right here on the QR code. Feel free to click that with your phone, and you can watch previous recordings on there as well. So we welcome everyone over to our live Zoom chat. Otherwise, you're going to probably have about 15, 20-second delay over in YouTube and Facebook. We restream, like I said, over to YouTube and Facebook. I'm looking at my notes here. Format of our coherence meditations: first 10 to 15 minutes, a quick little intro and a brief discussion, and we go right into it. So Seth does this magic, and we usually have about maybe half hour, 45 minutes of a coherence meditation, in which we also do encourage everyone to practice these daily. So if you do go over and watch the recordings, I keep forgetting, but like I mentioned, beginning of the session, click on that live tab so you'll see all those recordings. We have a playlist there that has all of our previous recordings. Just go ahead and do that. Anyway, so last week's title was Transforming Lack of Focus into Laser Sharp Focus and Create a Purposeful Life Personally and Collectively. Man, that's a long one. And then this one, we're going to go along the theme of transforming again. So transforming feelings of overwhelm into powerful bodily resilience. So thank you, everyone. Welcome, Seth, and it's off to you, buddy. Thank you.
Awesome. As always, Greg, thank you. You're amazing. It's wonderful. I've never done something like this with somebody helping me like you. So it's a great experience for me to you know way more about all this tech stuff than I do. So I appreciate that.
I'm always happy to teach, and we'll get it done.
Yeah.
So yeah, just previous to this, guys, we were reconnecting our restream stuff, so a little teaching involved there. But yeah, no, you're getting the hang of it,
He's
man.
teaching me is what he's saying, not you guys.
Then I had to reinstall Windows last week, so yeah, pain in the butt.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it because, like all of them, I don't think about what I'm going to say. I don't come up with an idea or write notes. I like to let everything be exactly what it's going to be. And that is possible for everybody when you get really good of coming to the edge of yourself. And that means we have the ability to be right on the cutting evolutionary edge of our own perceptual awareness where we step out of that comfort zone a little bit. We're in a way where it's like we're half in, half out. It's almost like the eagle in the sky or a bird flying high. The view of the ground, the lakes, the everything below, the forest, and at the same time into infinity. We're like that. We are like that, but the world taught us just temporarily that we're not that. So now we're becoming that again because the human being, the human consciousness, the consciousness of reality that we all perceive, it's so powerful. And when you get enough of us together and perceiving reality with each other, very different from the consumer habits we've all been taught and grown up with. And to me, that's very interesting and very exciting. But let's get right into it. Just wherever you are, just completely relax from the top of your head to the tip of your feet in your own time. Just relax, all of you. And also, don't just relax. If you're sitting down, see if you can get your posture up. Not so much that it's uncomfortable, but you can envision almost like a cord of silver on the top of your head that's gently pulling you up. Help from above. And if you're laying down, same thing. Just try to keep as much of your body as proportionate as you can, because these bodies embody and emit all kinds of different energy. But it all kind of starts with our life force energy itself, the innate intelligence of the body that is in everybody, that is so intelligent that it's almost incomprehensible from a mind that hasn't really harmonized itself with the real reality. That energy is reality. And it's way more powerful than certainly I could ever know. But that's also the beauty of it. So as your posture is as straight as you can get it and symmetrical, which will allow the greatest flow of your own energy to not only pulse through your body, but when you have good posture and you're focusing on your life force, this energy has the ability to pulse through your being in such a powerful way that the effect becomes lasting, meaning the more you focus on and amplify the energy in your body with good posture, with good symmetrical edges, that energy becomes amplified when we focus on it. And as we keep making habits of focusing on this energy and intentionally amplifying it by focusing on it, When we do that, life itself, this incredible, beyond genius intelligence that is causing our body to be here, managing all kinds of complex systems with intelligence that is just awe. It is mystery. It is profound. It is God, you could say, or the quantum field. And it is also us, who you are, who I am. Every single bit of everything you know about yourself and your reality is an extension of that energy. So then why don't we know? Why does it seem like we're separate or cut off from this beyond genius part of ourselves? It's like that so we can rediscover what it's like to be in these bodies and go through the process of becoming more conscious of this energy force so that we bridge the gap between the unconscious, subconscious, and the conscious part of our perception of all of our being. The more we create habits of focusing on this life force as the extension of what this life force is, we bridge the gap. We literally create a circuit between all that we are and everything that we have the potential to be. And we can work along that edge of self, that cutting edge evolutionary potential of this being that you are and I am, a being that intentionally focuses on what is really happening. This miracle of life is what is really happening. And it's actually so simple to choose to become aware of it. All it is intentional. You have to be intentional about the way you start to integrate who you are into what you are so that you can become all you have the potential to be. When you get really good at feeling your heartbeat, feeling your pulse in a part of your body that has pain, if you have tremendous pain, whether it's physical or emotional, and if you're able to feel it in a certain point or area of your body, the habit of making a habit of focusing on that pain and feeling your pulse in it, that is what heals quicker than anything. And all it is a skill. It is creating a habit of knowing and being ourselves in totality, to be aware of the parts of us that hurt, while at the same time being aware that who we are is an extension of what we are. But here's what happens when we're not paying attention to this source of life force, and we let our awareness be triggered or alerted from everything in the world around us, all of the people, all of the cities, all the technological devices, everything that kind of fits into a package of modern consumerism. If we get too focused on that, and especially over the past few years, everything that's happened, and with everything that's happened, is seemingly new big events every week, every couple weeks. And it seems like one really dramatic, sad, or tragedy-like situation occurs. And so many aren't even done grieving, and their attention gets ripped away onto some other intense event. And so it's easy to become overwhelmed. How could we not be? I would say that now more than ever in my lifetime here, more than ever, the things that have been happening are so intense, so distracting, and they have an allure. It's almost like tempting us to pay attention to it. All the details, all the things that affect us and trigger us when these events happen, they yank at our heartstrings. They pull our attention away from knowing ourselves as the miracle we are, to instead focus on living in a state of fright, sadness, grief, all of these different perceptual properties that, when tempted, we give our attention to it. And every time we give our attention to something external to us, we are creating a perceptual habit of focusing on it. But also, that is where the beauty is. That is where the power is, because when we realize that perception is mostly a habit that, for the most part, has unconsciously become endorsed and then re-endorsed, and through building consistent habits that we're not really that conscious of, that causes our bodies to go into fight, flight, stress, and we feel trapped by it and overwhelmed by it. And of course, we are. Of course, that's how we're going to feel. To have any love of life in you and to be a part of this world as it currently is, in addition to all of the sadness, there's also an opportunity to bring the opposite of all these perceptual habits into being. When we get distracted or tempted by something in the form of giving our attention to it, in addition to whatever the sadness might be, depending on our state of being and our frame of mind, it also might be an opportunity to learn to have more compassion, more empathy, more patience. Everything in the world around us is always teaching us. And if we're not aware of these lessons, or if we're bombarded by stress, we can choose to show up as an eager student, ready to learn the lessons that life is offering. Or we can turn and hide and be the victim. But as many of us are beginning to learn, that does not serve who we are and the recognition of this life force, what we are. So as you're in good posture, as your body is relaxed, slow your breathing down a little bit. And here's the most important part. Put a smile on your face and feel it in your heart. Because when you put that smile on intentionally, you are turning the switch between stress and openness. And so by putting that smile on your face and feeling it in your heart, in your body, you are making a choice to feel elevated feelings. And you can create a habit of that. And so while you're relaxed, while you're breathing slow, while you're feeling that smile on your face, in your body, just know that whatever it feels like now, for those who are just beginning to practice this, and those who have been practicing it, by choosing to show up for life, for all these initiations and lessons, with the feeling that we know we have the ability to be so much more whole, to have even just a little bit of awareness that somehow remembers or knows that feeling of the smile in your body can turn into feelings, elevated feelings that there aren't even words for. We literally have the ability to feel the feeling of that smile in our body. And as we're feeling that, and we're feeling our heart and brain in coherence together, then suddenly we are taking our choice to feel elevated and intersperse it into the coherence of the heart and brain that is a natural occurrence. But in all of our addiction to stress, we just forgot for a little while. And now we're choosing to remember. If you can feel your heartbeat in your chest, let yourself feel it. And let yourself feel the pulse of your heart while you are also feeling the energy of the smile you are putting on your face intentionally. Because when you take your attention and you focus on this animating principle, this miracle of life that is all allowing us to pay attention in the first place, that is us reuniting consciously, openly to this innate intelligence that is the miracle. And while we're calm, while we're smiling and feeling, and while we feel our heartbeat, that when we focus on from a state of calm, the heartbeat slows down. It knows you are paying attention to the conditions of your body. It knows when you are giving that internal power, your own self-love. And if you keep doing it, at some point, the habit sticks and you'll be walking around with a smile on your face, totally oblivious to the judgment or thoughts of anybody, because you are choosing to feel your connection to this source life force in your body. And when that habit gets developed, the more you are surrounded by people, places, situations that are teaching you to do this. It could be said that all we really have is our state of being. The world could take everything from us. The world could be dragging us by a rope. But the one thing it cannot take is our attitude. Just because something appears terrible, for the most part, doesn't mean that we have to bow to it or give in to it. We can choose to feel unconditional love for life in situations that most won't ever do at any time soon. So your body's calm, you're breathing gently, you feel your body. You're not just a bunch of thoughts in your head. The same energy that allows us to think is in and around every part of our body, in the heels of our feet, in our little toes, in our adrenal glands. That same innate intelligence of life force doing what it does best, and that is to live. That is happening inside all of us unconditionally. And the more we're able to harmonize who we think we are with what we are, the person you believe yourself to be, in harmony with this energy that is also allowing to be in your body. When you create a marriage of your awareness with this innate intelligence, these relationships are the things that stars are made of. They are so bright. They are so dark. And no matter how it appears to be, it is coming from all of it, the same place. And for all we know, this awareness could be completely filtered as our own. We might not even be present if it wasn't for this energy. We could be the only one who's actually aware of it. Because if we were to pass away, the way things appear to be around us won't be there. A transformation of something much deeper, of cycles that are so big compared to the short lifespans of most of us here. And when we allow ourselves to be at that edge, of who we think we are, becoming more aware of what we are, that's when we begin to open up the prison of our own mental and emotional anguish. We box ourselves right into ourselves, and the world teaches us that's normal. It's more like that's temporary. By willing to step out of your comfort zone, to open up your awareness like you have little binoculars on. When you take those away and you allow your eyes, all your senses, senses that we didn't even know we have, begin to open up, and we begin to set ourselves free, often of things we didn't even know were holding us in. And let's be honest, now more than ever, we are all in a storm. It's happening. But like any tornado or hurricane, any sheer intense force of nature has those little calm spots in the middle, the calm inside the storm. Everything around you is spinning so fast, yet that core part of the storm is calm. And the world around us is spinning around that calm. And when we stay centered, when we begin to start acknowledging extrasensory powers that help us to stay healthy, grounded, that are completely natural, that were always there. When we begin to condition ourselves as this force of nature, of life force in our core, and as we begin to become more and more unconditionally in love with our body, and even more for our life force, and our choice to smile from the inside out on the miracle that this creation has offered us, then we start to become more conscious of the Creator. And when we have a habit of what is already happening, like the calm of that storm, we can watch everything going around. We don't necessarily need to focus on it. If we go out of that core of the harmony of our entire body, from the top of our head down to our pelvic floor, where all our vital organs and glands are, That is the calm in the storm. It is also the power. And the more we choose to make a habit of focusing on that, common sense begins to return. Why would we bother to let ourselves get too shook up? So no matter what is happening in the world, and no matter how overwhelming it is or could be, we have the ability to flick the switch to become conscious of the life force in the core of our being. And not only do we become more resilient when we focus on that, we become evolution in progress, meaning the source of our life force is animating who we think we are, and we are intentionally returning that favor by unconditionally loving this life, no matter how difficult it can be. And if you can begin to create habits of doing that, you know what's protecting you. You know that it is some miraculous force that is clearly illuminated or enlivened by something way more intelligent than we are. And when we begin to trust that intelligence, when we start giving our attention to that intelligence, that is the bridge that we are building with the support of this source energy. So your body is totally relaxed. Your breathing is slow. You feel the feeling of that smile in your core. And at the same time, you're acknowledging, yeah, there's a storm happening around us. But let's be real. Is the storm we're experiencing on this world in some other world? Is the same thing that's happening here, the intensity of it? Is that happening on Mars? At what point do we intentionally choose to become so objective of our own life force that the act of doing so begins to break this prison of self down? Through our heart is the lock and key to the evolutionary potential of all this DNA that some call junk. It's not junk. It is limitless potential that's being activated by your attention to pay attention. to this source life force in you. So nothing holds us back unless we let it. Or if it is holding us back, then it's an opportunity to become more aware of it. Just as a student learns from a teacher, wherever we're able to meet who we think we are with what we are, that's where it's at. That's the real news. So if you have a bottle of water or tea or juice, and it's okay if you don't have it with you. Maybe you have something to drink in your fridge. Let's see if we can take that life force through these relaxed states of being and feel our pulse in our heart, in the middle of our chest. Let your entire being pulse with that energy. We are like organic antenna. We are sending and receiving signals of highly intelligent information and energy that is always offering us the potential to tap into our potential and to do it in a way that becomes so worth it that you turn into a role model, and not just for others. By you choosing to do this, you are setting a standard, a precedent. Through your choice, you are letting the core of your being know that you've got its back, attention-wise, and it will have yours. It's the most important relationship. So whatever water or juice, see if you can feel your own energy field pulsing out towards what you want to drink. And put a really big smile on your face. Feel it in your heart. And let that feeling reverberate out into infinity. Let it reverberate to the degree that the calm in the middle of the storm becomes so powerful because you're paying attention to it, that all the difficult things, the frequencies, the foods, when we become pure consciousness animating these beings, that is probably the only way to adapt to everything that appears to be happening so fast. But it is worth it. And let your water, let it feel your gratitude for yourself. even if it's only temporary. Like any relationship, you always have to return to be present with another. Same thing here. And the more you get good at doing this, the more life teaches you how to do it even better. And at some point, you are in the honeymoon phase, and that is coming to an end. And you are on to deeper levels of intimacy, of integrity with this life force, the only thing that we have, and that has us. So, with that feeling in your heart, with your awareness on the water that you're going to drink, gently take your hands together and create friction. If you want to stay in a state of being that you're in right now, feel free to just hang up. But if you're ready to come out of it, like I am, create that friction in your hands and put the palms of your hands over your eyes and stay relaxed. And as always, feel free to like, love, tag, share. Help us get the word out. And let's make a healthy world together. Greg, thank you. And we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Take care, guys.